根據美國農業部喺1916年第404期刊指出，因為係1英畝工業大麻所出產嘅植物纖維紙張對比樹木要高出4.1倍，所以工業大麻係代替樹木成為壓緊板、刨花板同埋核心混凝土施工模具嘅完美材料。工業大麻係廉價嘅建築施工材料，具有防火、優良嘅隔熱及隔音性能。而對比水泥混凝土，工業大麻所做嘅混凝土竟然更為堅硬同埋耐用，而且因為植物纖維特有嘅彈性物質，唔似水泥混凝土咁樣比較容易脆裂，所以用工業大麻混凝土所做嘅房屋係具備有防地震嘅功能，因為對比水泥混凝土係更輕同埋更堅硬。工業大麻唔單止可以代替水泥混凝土，亦可以代替建築用嘅 PVC 膠水管，而且更耐用。而更為重要嘅，工業大麻係可再生嘅原料，唔會對環境造成污染。
It's legal in some countries to grow hemp for fiber. And in France, this woman whose name is Madame France Perrier, she builds about 300 houses a year using hemp and cement lime, and she makes a thing called isocyanure. And she mixes the lime with hemp herbs, the leftover parts of the hemp plant after the fiber's been extracted. And hemp does this amazing thing. It turns to stone, it petrifies. And so when you mix the lime and hemp herbs together, you get something stronger than cement at 1/6 the weight.
C'est-à-dire que dans un premier temps, j'ai cherché à pétrifier les végétaux, c'est-à-dire à minéraliser les sèves. Et puis ensuite, j'ai trouvé des archéologues qui m'ont dit avoir vu des sites mérovingiens et des sites égyptiens qui avaient été vraisemblablement faits de ces mêmes techniques.
Madame Perrier has had thousands of prospective orders for her houses from all over Europe. But like so many others, she is held back only by the restrictions on hemp production.
So what we have here is the hemp shiv, or also called the hurd, which is the internal part of the stem of the plant. And that's mixed with a lime-based binder. And so with that lime-based binder and the hemp, we've got a negative carbon footprint. Now the difference between lime and concrete is that lime you don't have to heat up as much. Concrete you have to heat up to almost 3,000 degrees, which takes a lot of energy and does very poorly on the carbon footprint.
Well, hempcrete actually sequesters carbon. Let me tell you how it does that. First of all, any cellulose material, wood for example, or hemp, takes carbon in during its life cycle, and usually when it decays, it lets it back into the atmosphere. If you take that plant and then put it into a wall, for example in hempcrete, then that carbon is now sequestered in the wall and not becoming part of climate change. So the hempcrete in this building, this one building alone, will sequester 20,000 pounds of carbon. That's a pretty big accomplishment. I think this is the best wall system in the world. So I'm all about hemp. I think hemp's an important thing to push because it's food, fiber, building material. But really, I'm choosing this material because it's the best in terms of building science. And why is that true? First of all, because this is what's often called a breathable wall system. And I don't mean breathable for air. We're actually building an airtight wall, but it's breathable for water. Why is that an advantage? Well, in a typical wall, you have a cavity that you seal tightly and then you fill with insulation. Well, water will get inside that cavity because water that's its job in the world. My body's 70% water. It can dissolve any material anyway. So what we want to do in a building is create a wall that welcomes water but doesn't rot when it lets the water in, and that's exactly what hempcrete does. When humidity changes in the air outside, the wall can take on that extra humidity and hold it until the humidity drops outside, and then it'll let it back out. In the meantime, because the lime is wrapped around the cellulose won't rot.
The lime is trying to go back to being a rock. That means this wall is going to get harder and harder and harder. Over time, it's going to petrify. So these walls will last for thousands of years, not at 40 years like what we're used to building.
所以用大麻所做嘅各種產品，例如混凝土、膠水管、布料、汽車外殼、醫藥甚至燃料，明顯地都唔係一種廉價嘅代替品，而係世上最佳嘅原材料之一。相反，其他嘅原材料，例如石油、 鋼鐵、棉花同埋玉米先至係唔符合成本效益嘅昂貴代替品。只係一班銀行家同埋石油大王喺過去100年偷去人類使用最好原料嘅權利，使佢哋發大財，更令人類流入貧窮、落後、糧食短缺同埋污染當中。